all about sales and sales conversion, right? That's what we're going to be talking about over the next couple of days. Today, there's a couple of things I want to talk about. Qualification of your prospects, right? How you really qualify your prospects. How to accidentally fall into a sales opportunity, like what that looks like to transition from a random conversation into a sales opportunity into closing the sale. So what the transitions are. I want to talk a little bit about getting very clear about sitting in front of somebody who wants to buy and what that actually looks like for you guys. Now, what I've put together for you, for some people, this is probably your first meeting for this series. A lot of people have been here. You should have got an email from me yesterday with the document that I created with the fast action offers. That was a 22-page document, by the way. There were several offers, several structures and strategies that you could send out, and you should have got the video. If you can't find it, check your spam folder. It would have came from Camille, not from me. So you should have got that document and you should have got the thing. Now, hopefully, some of you have had time to go and start sending out those crazy offers, right? I would love to know, for those people who took some action, or if anybody did take some action, who actually sent out some emails, some offers, text messages yesterday, if you did, and did anybody get anybody replying or responding? Can you do me the kindness and type in the chat if you actually took some action and did that? I'll give you a moment. All right. Because I got 2 emails from people yesterday that took those offers, sent them out, and they already had people reply. I've had 2 people reply so far. Both those people, I'm trying to find out who that is here. Anybody take any action? Anybody send out any offers? Anybody do anything? Anybody make some appointments over the last 24 hours? Anybody sell any clients in the last week? Just type in the chat. Loaded instantly going out today. Okay, Craig, cool. Right. One of the things here is you don't just send out hundreds of these. You only have to send out 5, 10, 15, send out 20. I sent 20. What am I doing wrong? I'm not getting replies. Patrick, it might be some context. It might be, it could be anything. It could be anything, right, around that. But if you send out to the same people again, say, hey, I didn't hear back from you, and then let's see what happens to that, right? You can send out, like, I have sent the same message to the same people, sometimes 10 times in the same day. Hadn't heard back from you. Can you please let me know if you got this? Like, just asking people to nudge them to open and have a look, right? So that's the thing, yeah? Set an appointment for next week. Well done, James. Well done. So you've got an appointment for next week. Anybody else? The fastest path to cash is making a direct money offer. That's what I showed you yesterday, right? The fastest path to cash is making a direct money offer. Now, I just want to, because a few of you have been here on this journey with me, what I'd really love to know, if you're looking back over your notes, what's the biggest standout thing that you've learnt over this series? If you can do me the kindness and just share, what's the big thing that you've noted for yourself? The reason I'm asking you to do this is we have a whole bunch of people here. Other people will learn or also be reminded of what you've learnt through this process. So I'd like you to kind of scan your notes in this series as part of this process. What are the biggest takeaways? What's a takeaway for you that you picked up out of this series so far? It's purely just a recap and a reminder for all of us here. Stop procrastinating and get into the arena. Okay, that was the message. That was the Andrew Warner one from Mixergy, right? Get out of the bleachers, get on the field, start swinging the bat for real. Yes, Pete Thompson. What else? Multi-channel messaging, crazy offers, the value proposition ideas. Awesome, thank you. Thanks, Craig. Don't do the tech, outsource it. Yep, don't do the tech, outsource the tech, right? What else? What else did you learn? Lisa O, what did you learn? Tom Omnis, what did you learn? Appointment's the most important thing. Yes, Joseph, right? Your primary thing that you want to be thinking because if you're growing your business is you want to make sure that your number one thing that you do every day is set an appointment for yourself, right? How to know how many people I need to talk to get a sale. Yeah, On average, it's about 4 to 5 people. 4 to 5 people, you'll close a deal. Because you want to think about that whole concept. And thank you, Patrick, for putting that in there. Think about it. You're having the same conversation. Every conversation you have, you learn a little bit more. By the time you've made this presentation 3 or 4 times, you're going to get better at doing that, right? You're going to get better at doing that. And what will happen is there will be somebody in that group of 4 or 5 people who go, you know what? Let's give this a go. You'll pick up a client. So it won't take you to talk to many people about this idea for you to close sales, right? There are many ways to engage people with what I've taught. Yes, absolutely, Marsha. There's many ways to engage with people. These days, we want to be omni-channel, right? These days, we want to be omni-channel. So one of the things that, I like doing is DMing, or I will, when you're in the DM process and in conversation, you're asking questions, you can actually have several conversations, right, operating at the same time. So you can be busy. I could be busy for a couple of hours just in DMs, right? I could sell, collect payment, generate appointments, just DMing people, right, in the process. How do we make a direct offer? You learn how to make a direct offer. We don't give them access to anything. They rent the system from us. Yes, they rent the system. They don't own the system. You are not building it for them to manage. You are managing it for them, right? Like if you're building an AI agent for somebody, they don't know how to change the AI agent. They don't know how to change it. They don't know how to fix it. They don't know what to do with it. They're not trained. You're the person that's managing that process. So you're not giving the person the agent, you're renting it to them, right? Hearing that it's okay to keep following up consistently. It takes lots of touch points to get into conversations, and how to follow up and what to say all those times. Absolutely. Thanks, James. Yes. This is the game that you're playing. As a business owner, you're playing the follow-up game. These days, we're lucky we can automate follow-up, right? We can use AI, and AI can follow up. Like we've got a client that we do a DBR for. We've been following up with the same leads for more than 6 months and now closing sales from people we've been following up for 6 months just on automation with AI, right? Like every now and again, it touches base and say, hey, it's been a while. It's been 3 months since we've spoken. You said you wanted to talk. Are you still interested? Like it's doing that, right, all the time. We're closing contacts that were put into a database 4 years ago. Can you imagine closing sales from a lead that's 4 years old? Purely because you're touching base, right? It's insane, yeah? Any other observations or takeaways? I'll take one more. Marsha, you've got a question. What's your question, Marsha?
A lot of times we will discount when people pay in full for the year, and I wondered if you ever did that.
Yeah, I've done that. That's an incentive. So oftentimes, so for example, if I talk about Cam, one of the guys that I coach, Cam did a deal. So these quick offers, that really crazy offers we talked about yesterday. Cam did a crazy offer. We were in New York at the time at a live event, and Cam was there, and we did the offer in the room. And a person accepted that offer. It was like a $1,000 offer to do a landing page or something like that. That crazy offer turned into a $140,000 SEO project, right? So crazy offer, right? Converted and then upsold to a $140,000 SEO project. And I said to Cam, why don't we make them an offer to get all the money up front? Right. So we said to the client, for 132 grand, save $8,000. You can save 8 grand on this deal if you do a one-time payment of 132. And the client said yes. And 2 days later, Cam had $132,000 cash banked off a crazy offer, right? In the room. We did that live, right? But here's the cool thing. The reason why that happened, the reason why the company paid up front, is because the company in their purchasing process had a protocol. And the protocol was that if anybody offered a discount, that they had to take the discount. That was the protocol, right? So Cam was lucky that the company turned around and went, oh, discount, yes, we'll take the discount, we'll pay you the 132 grand up front. save $8,000, right? What's that? Say, what's that? 7%, right? So 7% savings. So to answer your question, Marsha, yes, you can do that if you want to. You can do. People do that all the time. The internet marketing people do a pay me up front, save money type of. They do that on annual subscriptions. Magazines do it. Anything like even insurance companies do it, right? Even apps do it. Pay me a year, save money, right? Pay when if you like I think on one of the apps, if I paid them 240, it was like $20 a month. If I paid them $200, I would save $40, right? I'm saving 10% off the deal. Or they go pay the $200 up front, save 2 months free, right? So they're using that deal. So can you use an incentivized opportunity by reducing and getting upfront? Absolutely, you can. Absolutely, you can. I've done it many times. I've done it in many campaigns. So yeah, you can do that. It does work. It does work really well for conversions because some people go, yeah, I'll take advantage of that, right? Not everybody, but when it's high ticket, like we over at Breakthrough in our agency, we sign clients up to 3 years. And I would say 7% of the people we sign up will pay 3 years in advance. But they're large enough companies to absorb, $180,000 price tag, right? They're large enough companies to do that. And we don't discount, we do fixed pricing. So if you pay us up front, we'll fix the price for the next 3 years. So there's no discount. So they're still paying us full price for the current pricing. But we have price increases that we do every 6 months or every quarter or whatever. They will not incur those price increases. They will automatically be locked in for 3 years. So inherently, they might save 20, 30 grand a year by the third year, right? So that's another way of doing it. You can lock this in now, pay for it all up front, fixed pricing, or lock us in for 12 months, pay the monthly fee, incur the increased pricing. That's the other way to do it.
And of course, now if people are on a calendar year, they've got budgets to use up between now and the end of the year.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. This is not a crazy money offer, but I was talking to my 10-year-old about what we were learning, and he made 2 cold calls to redo a crappy local business website, and he got one to agree to him to redoing the website. James Templeman, well done. Congratulations. So he just literally called the business and said, I want to redo your website. That's cool, man.
Yeah, we're watching your bonus one on Friday together because it was a student free day. And and he goes, yeah, let's do it. We just found a myopathy, just a single person running it. And obviously she answered the phone. He goes, yeah, I'm me. I'm learning how to build websites. Can I redo it for you? She said, you're learning, are you? I goes, yeah, but my dad's here. He knows how to do it. She goes, yeah, right, go for it. So it was just following your simple script, no pressure. But yeah, it was fun to do that with him.
Yeah. One of my, so there's a guy called Andy Presage that I work with, and Andy is running, he's 6 months in. He's doing about close to 1.8 million in revenue 6 months in, right? And what he sells, and this is the pitch, I'm going to give it to you straight. We're recording this, so you can literally steal this if you want to steal it, right? So what he does is he goes and finds a current person that's advertising online on Google, running a Google ad, and he'll click to the landing page. Now, if the landing page is the home page of the website, Andy knows that that's an ineffective ad strategy, right? That ad is actually not going to follow through because the offer isn't reflective of what's on the homepage of the website. They have to go looking for the offer in the website, meaning that the longer they spend on the site, the less likely they are to going to get through. Or you click on the ad and you don't see the offer, you think, oh, I'll move on to the next ad, right? You move away. So he literally service, like HVAC, St. Catharines, Canada, right? Like HVAC St. Catharines, Canada. And he'll look at all the advertisers for HVAC business in St. Catharines, right? And the ones that go to a crappy homepage, well, what he does is he'll go and use 10Web. 10Web is 10web.io, 10web.io. And he will redesign the website using images off the current website or modernize the images, right? Using AI, modernize the images, and then create a conversion element for the offer that's on the ad, right? So we'll redesign their site in mobile, for mobile, because 95% of people are mobile. When they're looking at ads, they're looking at a mobile device, not sitting on a desktop or on a computer, right? So what are they doing? Looking on mobile. So he'll re-optimize the thing. Now it takes 3 minutes for 10Web to build this website, right? It takes all the sales copy off their current website. It'll take, so the scripting, the copy, blah, blah. And then he'll say, improve the offer, right? And then he'll build the site. And it takes 3 minutes to build a website. If I look at the whole scenario, it's about 8 minutes. From the time he looks for the ad, finds the ad, redesigns the ad, it's about 8 minutes, right? So he uploads the URL of the website into 10Web, and he'll say, redesign this, make it more modern, use some of the images, create a website, homepage, contact us page, mobile, right? Style. Then he'll call the company and say, I notice you're running an ad right now, and it's going to a landing page, going to your homepage, and it's not converting. I redesigned your website for you and designed it to convert those leads, because right now the offer you're making is not relevant to what people are seeing on your front page. I've made the offer relevant. Do you want to have a quick look at it? I've put it together. It's more modern. Open up your mobile. Here's the link, right? And then he'll say, I'll tell you what, I can make this go live in the next 48 hours for $500. You can have this full website, your website redone, $500, right? And most people go, $500, are you kidding me? Yeah, $500. I've already designed it. I've already created it for you. But there's no functionality. It's just a site, and they're going to get your phone number and blah, blah. And he goes, what do you mean by functionality? I said, well, do you want to book appointments where they book into your calendar to book appointments for the offer? Yes, well, we can set that up. There's a $1,500 setup fee for the calendar, and then we can have some automations. And to manage that, we're going to charge you about $1,000 a month to manage the database and manage the campaign. So we're managing leads, making sure all leads are contacted, right? And they're going to get the emails, right? Cool. Do you want me to put that in? Yes, great. Also, what about a speed to lead? Like, do you find it hard to get back to people? Because I noticed when I looked at your, when I called your company, that you put me straight to voicemail. And that was like a few hours ago. Nobody's gotten back to me yet. How many leads are you missing out on every day? We can have a situation where we can have a voice AI manage that lead in 30 seconds, answer some questions, qualify their lead, then book an appointment with your people and have every single lead followed up and put into your database as part of this process. Would you like to have that functionality? Right? Well, $2,500 to set up the voice agent and another $1,500 a month to manage the voice agent for you. Right? So now we're going from $500 to $3,000 a month. Right? So Andy now, he was selling 5 websites a day. 5 of these a day. $2,500 per day. Right? But here's the kicker. 75% of the people that bought the $500 website ended up spending between $29,000 and $46,000. 75%. That's how Andy has now built a $1.8 million website company. Right? Now, the exact script, I've just given it to you. The strategy, 10Web, it does it for you. You don't have to code it. It hosts it for $3 a month. That's the hosting cost, $3 a month to host it, right? Yeah. You can integrate whatever calendar you want. If you want to, you can change the website in a WordPress website, upload it into WordPress if you want to. You don't necessarily have to do that. But it's fully optimized, right? Easy peasy foot in the door offer that turns into a heavy upsell, right? Andy went from 0, and by the way, I've been coaching Andy now for, it's 7 months. Right, 7 months to go from 0 to literally about 140 grand a month in recurring, 150 grand a month in recurring revenue in less than 6 months. Cool. That's how easy it can be. That's how easy it can be. People have a need, right? What is he selling? He's selling something that people are screwing up and they're making a mistake, right? It's a common thing. People waste money on advertising. He knows that 75, 80% of most ad campaigns fail, right? They're not generating leads. If you talk to people, are you happy with the leads you're getting? No. I wonder why. Because you're sending people a homepage and they're disconnecting from the offer, right? Why this offer? Why you say, well, this is the offer that people call us from. Great, but when they get to your website, they can't see where to call you or what to do with your offer, right? You don't have your offer on the front page of your website. What I've done is redesign your site to match what people are looking for. This is going to improve your conversion. This is going to get you a better quality customer, right? and you're going to capture the deals. You're going to get phone inquiries, right? $500. You want it? Like, it's a no-brainer sale, right? It's already done. He's already done it. 8 minutes for $500, right? Really, really simple. The strategy that I shared with you guys the other day, right? If you're not busy and you've got some time on your hands, right? If you're not cashing money in right now and you've got a little bit of time on your hands, what I do is literally qualify businesses, right? When I say qualify, people that are running ads right now, and sit there and say, look, I want to build a speed to lead for you. I want to run it for 30 days. At the end of that 30 days, you can decide how much you're going to pay me per month to manage that system for you. We're going to work out how many appointments you've booked. We're going to see how much money you've closed. At the end of the 30 days, we'll either shut it down or we will continue to work with each other, and you will decide how much you're going to pay me for the system. Good deal? That's a no-brainer deal, right? Now, you can do that with 3 people. Now, here's how the close would go. It's pretty simple. You set it up for them as you would normally set it up, like for yourself, with a number. You have the thing going, and they would pay for the costs. They pay for the text costs or the Twilio costs, so they have to pay for the credits. So you're not doing that for free. You're not incurring that cost, but you're just setting it up for them. You're going to monitor it. At the end of that, what's going to happen is going to go, great. How many appointments have we set? You would have seen, if they're running leads or they're running ads, you would have seen the appointments that are being set. You would have seen the conversation stream in Go High Level. You would have seen what's going on. So you've got a transparent view of what's happening, right? Then of these, you can sit down and talk with the client. Say, look, I noticed you booked in like 35 appointments. Of the 35 appointments booked, and I'm looking at here, some of these people look at these conversations, they must have bought, right? How many sales did you make? How many people bought, right? Now, I had one person who did this, and they got a $45,000 sale within 2 days of plugging in Speak to Lead, right? 45 grand. So I'm going to use that example, right? So here's a script. So I noticed you've booked in 35 appointments. You've closed $45,000 so far, right? Now, if we just did this every single month, that's an extra $500,000 in business on this system that you haven't paid for yet. Of that 500 grand, what do you think would be a fair fee for me to manage this for you? What do you think that person would say if this thing pays $45,000 every month? Type in the chat what you think that they would pay per month to keep this going. Just made 45 grand for nothing, right? I want to keep making 45 grand or more, right? What would you pay? Just type in the chat. What do you think would be a fair? Yeah, $4,500 a month, 3 to 4, $5,000. Exactly. That's exactly what they said. They said, oh, if it keeps doing this, I'll pay you $4 grand a month. Great, let's write that in. $4 grand a month. One chatbot, $4 grand a month, right? Now, what are people normally selling chatbots for? $297 a month, $97 a month. Same chatbot. Now you're getting 4,000, right? 5,000. Now do 3 of these things, what I just said, and now you're making 15 grand a month or $12,000 a month within 30 days. How many people here would like to get $12,000 in cash per month within 30 days? Type 1 in the chat. Yeah, I've literally shown you how to go and make $12,000 to $15,000 in recurring revenue in 30 days by doing this offer. You're not doing any work right now. Nobody's paying you any money right now, so you might as well help somebody, right? But here is the deal, and this is where this goes pear-shaped if you do it wrong. This is where it goes wrong. Don't do this for a nuff-nuff, right? A nuff-nuff is a business that's not running ads and generating leads. A nuff-nuff is a small business that will question the value of this. A nuff-nuff is the people that you want to work with right now that have no money. No, you only would offer this deal to somebody who values leads, right? Who's going to follow leads. If you do that, they will print money. And if they're going to print money, they're going to pay you good money. You could even set up a rev share deal on this. You could set up a rev share deal on this and say, hey, don't pay me the $4 grand. I'll take 10% of every sale you make, right? What happens when that company makes $100,000 a month in sales and pay you 10 grand for one bot, one customer, right? 5 customers, 50 grand a month. How cool would that be, right? That's another way of doing the same deal. You know, the cool thing is you can set speed to lead up pretty easily, pretty quickly inside of Go High Level. right? That's not a hard thing to do. Yeah. So questions. Look, now I've given you an idea. I've given you the script on how to sell it, how to close it, how to get them to pay you more money than you're probably anticipating to get paid for a bot, right? And I've shown you that you probably pick up 3 clients before the end of the month, where within 30 days you're going to be collecting between $12,000 and $15,000 a month in recurring. That is $144,000 a year, or $180,000 in 30 days. If you have questions, please ask me questions about what I've just shared. What do you think about a 10 different company? Patrick, I'd probably only do it for 3 businesses, because by the time you've set this up for 3 businesses, what I would be doing is I would now be charging people $5,000 a month, because I would be going to the new business and say, well, here's the results we're getting right now. Here's roughly what our clients are making. The fees that we charge for that is $5,000. That's what everybody else pays. So if everybody else pays $5,000, guess what they're going to do? They're going to pay $5,000 too. So you're not going to set this up for 30 days for free. That would be a very dumb thing to do, right? That would be a dumb thing to do, because now you're going to have, you've already got case studies, testimonials, you've got statistics, you've got data that you can show every business. We set this up. This is what happened in 30 days with this business. We set that up. Happened in 30 days for that business. Set this up. This is what happened in 30 days for that business. Right? We had 3 businesses in 30 days. They all made collectively between $40,000 and $50,000, $60,000, depending on how much they advertise. Right now, do you have a system right now, 24/7, that's managing leads in real time and closing $40,000 to $50,000 sales? You got that happening for you right now? No. If you have that happening for you right now, this is our typical experience. Would you normally what we're charging? We will charge the same that we charge our current clients, as $5,000 a month. Are you okay with that? Yes or no? That's your pitch. So I would not be doing with this with everybody, Patrick. No. I would only do this with 2 or 3 people, and that sets you up for $12,000 to $15,000 in a month in recurring revenue. That's what I'll be doing, right? Mario, I'm just going to answer this question. Will you do a rev share with 3 bots the same way? Yeah, you can if you want to, Mario. It's your business. Would I do a rev share? Depends on the business. I don't do rev share with every business. We do rev share with some of our businesses, because some businesses, if they're a publicly traded company, they're not allowed to do rev share. Right? They can't do rev share. So what will you do? You charge a fee, right? So yeah, do I like rev share? Yes, I love rev share. Love rev share, because I'm going to make sure these people sell and convert, because the more they convert, the more money I make, right? Absolutely. Like, we have a client right now paying us $45,000 a year $45,000 a month in commissions. One customer. One of the people I coach, Crystal, she has a client, a RevShare client, that's paying her $75,000 a month. One customer. That's $900,000 a year. RevShare. One customer. Pure profit. Right? How cool is that? Right? So yes, could you offer RevShare? Absolutely. I would do RevShare on one bot. We do RevShare on database reactivation bot. We do RevShare on a website chat bot. We've done RevShare on Speed to Lead. Right? We've done RevShare on all of them. So yes. What would be the best opening message on DBR? Right now, you've probably got a ton of contacts that you haven't generated money. Ralph, if you go to all the documents that I've been emailing to everybody that's been attending, your messages and your offers are already there. My question to you is, why aren't you sending them out now? Right? Like, all those offers that I've created for you guys work. Right? So yes, what would I do? The hook's already in the documents. Chris, for this type of speed to lead service, would we need GHL and Extendly? Well, you don't need Extendly. You could set it up yourself. Yes, you would need GHL if you... Well, no, sorry. You don't need GHL to do speed to lead. You can set up speed to lead in HubSpot. You can set up in Pipedrive. You can set up in Salesforce. You can set up in Zoho. You can set up in any CRM. Speed to lead is not centric to Go High Level. I just like Go High Level because it's you've got Lead Connector, and Lead Connector allows you to have a convert conversation stream, so you can see all the messaging and all the conversations. That's why I like using GHL. And by the way, setting up a voice agent using GHL's wizard takes about 5 minutes. It doesn't take very long to do that. And even if you half-ass it, it's actually pretty decent. It's not too bad. Not the best. If you spend a little bit of time with it, you can make it awesome, right? You can really create a really amazing bot. So yeah. How do you qualify clients' sales team if you're doing a rev share? It's really easy, Craig. There's this thing called transparency when you're in the same system that they are, right? You see every lead, you see every conversation, you see into their database. They put you as an access point into their database because you're working together. You need to do that. So you get paid on every deal that is made. That's how you get paid. It's really weird. People ask that question, like, how do I know how to get paid? And they think that customers are going to rip them off. People are not going to rip you off and not pay your commissions. They will pay you the commissions, right? I got a friend of mine, Dave, right now. He's got one company that he just deals with the finance department and says, here are all the sales that contracts close, because you can see in their CRM with all the contracts closed, and just invoices them for $250,000 a month. And they pay him 250 grand every month. They're not ripping him off. He can see what's going on. So that part's, to me, that's the part that is the fun part, Craig, right? There's transparency because there's communication transparency. That's how this works. So yeah, rev share or per appointment. Sandy, yes, and yes, right? Rev share, yes. Pay per appointment, yes. You can do one, the other, both, depending on what the deal size is. How do you spell the website that clones prospect site? So there's this amazing website called Perplexity, and just go in top 10 AI website builders, and it'll give you the top 10 website builders. The only one I commented on was a company called 10web, so it's 10web.io, 10web.io. But Lovable, Replit, Ajax, there's 30, 40 amazing AI-driven website builders. A lot of them are free. 10web is free. You only pay when you host the website, right? So yeah, so there's this amazing website called Perplexity or Google, and just go, give me the top 10 AI website builders, or give me the top 10 free AI website builders. So that's how you find that. With Speak to Lead, do you do voice or call? Either text or voice. Yes and yes, Sandy. It doesn't matter. Think about it. If you want somebody to call you and you want a voice to handle it, then that would be a voice agent. If you want somebody to text where they're they're looking at a Google ad and they can text you, right? So then you can get into a text messaging with a client and have that dynamic text messaging going on. You can set up both. I just wonder why GHL's website builder hasn't reached the standard of those 30 to 40 sites yet. It's different, Marsha. I don't care. It's not a question I would even ponder or worry about. GHL are pretty good at what they do. They've literally built their idea off the back of somebody else's idea, and they've improved it, and they're constantly iterating, and they're constantly updating. And there's always, by the way, you know that there are about 50 other website builders just like GHL. There are 50 other companies that do what GHL does in the market already, that have literally, they're not the same as GHL, but they do similar things, right? So wherewithal, they're doing their thing. GHL are doing just fine, right? The valuation on GHL right now, I think they're a $2 billion company. I think they're doing okay, Marsha. I don't think they give a shit about anybody else's AI website builders. Yeah, at the moment. Yeah. If there was a problem, then I'm sure, they may change that. They may change the platform. But not an idea that I would be pondering. I'd really there's enough free stuff out there. GHL is pretty good. Is it the best? No. But it's functional. Is Salesforce the best? No. But it's functional, right? You kind of pick your poison. Lovable is really good. So much faster. Yeah, there's heaps of stuff. Any other questions about what I've just shared? The offer ideas, the scripts, and George, I know that would be very, very helpful for you. That's usually what I give to my paying customers, right? But I've been giving you free scripts and free training and free everything. All of you that have been following this series, the stuff that I've been giving you is stuff that I give to people that pay me money, right? And some of you are generating opportunities out of it, right? The stuff that I'm giving you, right? So, George, if you want to talk to me, feel free. You know where to find me, right? Yeah, thanks, Sandy. I appreciate you saying that. Yeah. So, I'm going to send you a document. I'm going to email this document to you, and this video recording will go to you as well. What I want to do is I want to talk about qualifying people and how do we transition from having conversations with somebody randomly about what you do, how do we turn that into a prospect, and how do we turn that prospect into a sale, what that transition kind of looks like, right? The thing that you want to understand as a business owner, and tomorrow I'm going to walk you through a whole sales process. If you follow the sales process, the customer will close themselves. The whole idea behind this concept is that the more you understand about the people that you're working with, and this is where, like, everybody that's teaching you how to sell AI and do running courses and doing all that stuff, there's some functional aspects of what they're sharing with you, but what they're not sharing with you is what you have to understand to make a lot of that work more effectively. What they're selling you is like, here's a little box, and here's, you fit people in the box. Here's the presentation, you walk people, and then they buy. It never works like that, right? It never works like that. What I'm trying to share with you and what I'm trying to help you with is to understand that there are certain things that you need to be aware of that will make it a lot easier for you and very easy for the customer to buy. But if you don't do these things, what's going to happen is you're going to have a lot of these conversations that lead nowhere, and you're going to get really frustrated because you're going to go, oh, this shit that I'm buying doesn't work, right? And it's not because it doesn't work. It does. But what's missing is the context, right? So, and what I'm trying to give you here is I'm trying to give you the understanding and the context, which is very simple. If you follow the bouncing ball, it's really easy because once you understand this, your ability to sell and help people with what you have to offer is going to be so much easier, right? It's almost like taking all the guesswork and all the context that's missing that I'm putting in there, right, for you. So one of the things that you want to understand is something I shared with you the other day. I said that you want to take on the identity as a business owner, right? If you don't take on the identity as a business owner, then you're not in business, right? That's the first thing. As a business owner, you have to go, I'm a business owner. When you talk to people, I own my own business. I run my own company, right? You want to identify as that person. Now, if you are the person that identifies as a business owner, you've got some responsibilities, right? Okay? As a business owner, you have responsibility. Make sense? Right? So I'm going to ask you, let's do a little bit of a quiz here, right? You are the owner of your own company, right? What are some of your primary responsibilities as a business owner? I'd like you to type it in the chat. You're a business owner. You're an expert in what you do. You're delivering a service. You want to sell, right? You want to make a profit. Yes, that is a responsibility, right? Sales is a responsibility as a business owner. Yes. What else? Right? What else? You run a business. You want to sell your stuff, right? You are responsible for making this business grow. So what do you got to do? What do you got to do? Right? Attract prospects, nurture prospects. Absolutely. You've got to get into revenue generating activities. You've got to make appointments as a business owner. You've got to build some systems to run. Things like sales, above all else. Yes. Right? Make sales. Yes. So here's the thing. As a business owner, there are 5 things, and I showed you this yesterday. There are 5 things that you must take responsibility for. The first thing is you must take responsibility for to do lead generation. Your business as a business owner needs to generate leads, right? You need to be getting out there. You need to be sharing what you do. You need to become visible. You need to do what every other business owner. You need to acquire customers, number 1, right? Number 2, you need to nurture relationships to get people to book appointments with you, right? You're not only trying to get leads, but you're trying to provide leads with value, with ideas for them to go, hey, I need this problem fixed. Yeah, you look like somebody who knows what they're talking about. Yes, I want to make an appointment. So the second thing that you're responsible for is nurturing your relationships, your contacts that you're generating leads from into an appointment opportunity. That's the second thing you're responsible for as a business owner, right? The third thing that you're responsible for is that you have to follow an optimized sales process. You have a process to take people through an assessment, a strategy session, then you do a presentation, then you're going to make an offer, then you're going to ask them to buy, you're going to follow a sales process. So the third thing that you're responsible for as a business owner is to have an effective sales process. That's what we've been talking about here through this training, right? The fourth thing that you're responsible for is to deliver two kinds of results, one or the other, either a great result or an outstanding result. As a business owner, your fourth responsibility is to deliver a great result or an outstanding result. Not an average result, not a good result, a great result or an outstanding result. One or the other, not both, right? You can only do one or the other. You're going to do great or you're going to do outstanding, right? So that's your responsibility. You've got to deliver what you sell, right? The last responsibility as a business owner is you need to resell, retain, upsell, cross-sell your service to your existing clients. You want to keep those clients on board, paying you month to month to month for as long as possible for the service you have, right? So you have an idea. You've got a cool idea, which is your offer. Whatever your cool idea is, you can make $1 million just selling speed to lead in less than 6 months. Easily, just one thing, speed to lead. You can make $1 million, because I know this, because I've got people I coach that are doing this, right? You can do $1 million a month, you can do $1 million in revenue in 6 months doing DBR, right? Database reactivation. You can make $1 million doing SEO. You can make $1 million doing in 6 months from zero, right? It doesn't matter what you sell, but you want to sell your cool thing, right? I have a friend of mine, Andrew, who runs an SEO company that specializes in personal injury. They are doing 30 million revenue selling SEO to personal injury attorneys. What do? They do SEO for personal injury attorneys, and that's it. Nothing else. One thing. 30 million revenue, right? So you pick a cool idea as a business owner. You've got one thing you want to lead. You want to make some money, make money out of one thing. Not 3 things. I'm not going to go and build 20 different chatbots. You're going to lead with one thing. So you choose one thing and you're going to lead. You're going to get better and better at offering that thing. The next thing you need to know is who is the best buyer for this product, right? If you're selling marketing services, right, the best buyer for this product is somebody already spending money on what you're selling, right? The best person to sell your idea to, if you're selling marketing services, is somebody that's running ads. That's the best person to sell to, right? So you might say, John, how do I find people that are running ads? Can anybody help me out here? I'm a moron. I don't know how to find people who run ads on the internet. Can anybody help me out here in the chat and let me know where I can find people who are running ads on the internet for services? Google, SalesNav, anybody else? Any other places I can find them? Perplexity, Facebook. I can literally go to Facebook and find people running ads. Facebook ad market, yes. The Facebook ad library. I can go product. Who's running Facebook ads, right? So I can find thousands of advertisers. All of you can find thousands of advertisers. If you ask me, number one priority, they must already be spending money on marketing. They must be buying leads. If they're buying leads, they need your help. If they're not buying leads, how can you help them if they're not buying leads? Like putting a speed to lead in for a company that does 80% of their business from referrals, speed to lead is not going to work for that business. Their phones don't ring 20 times a day, 30 times a day, right? So you need businesses where the phone rings or where people need to inquire or they need to do e-commerce, right? So the number one priority, are they spending money on marketing? That is a qualifier, right? The more they spend money on marketing, the better, right? You want companies that get at least minimum, this is a low end. In our world, we ask for a minimum of 2,000 inquiries a month. So in our world, we want our clients to have a minimum of 500 inquiries a week, right? Because if we convert 1% of that, that's 20 sales. For some of our customers, 20 sales is like $200,000 in sales, right? If they get 2,000 leads a month. Okay, so they must have at least 50 inquiries a week. That's 200 inquiries a month, right? That's the second criteria, is how many inquiries. Third criteria, right? Their average sale price of their item or their product. Nothing under $2,000. Normally $2,000 to 15 grand plus, $2,000 to 15 grand plus, right? So if you're like HVAC, roofing, fencing, accounting firms, companies that are average clients spending $2,000 to $3,000 or more, right? Plenty of businesses do that. Plenty of businesses. There are thousands of businesses. You might say, John, how do I find businesses that have products like that? Okay, the same places where you found the ad people, right? So it's not hard to find people who fit that criteria. So average price is this. Now, the decision maker, right? You need to know the decision maker, okay? So companies from 2 million to 10 million revenue. Companies from 2 million to 10 million revenue, right? How do I find companies from 2 million to 10 million revenue? In the United States library system, there's a thing called the A to Z guide in business. You can literally go to your local library and go businesses that do 5 million plus in revenue. And it'll give you a list of all the businesses in the United States who are doing 5 million plus in revenue for free, right? In your own county library system, right? For free. Or you can hop on, you can get them off lead lists like the Inc. 5000 list. You can go into Zoom Info. You can look at the Federal Bureau of Statistics database that you have free access to. If you have an ID or a library card ID, you can go and access that. There's plenty of places to find companies of 5 million more. If you want to use LinkedIn, LinkedIn's easy. What you're doing is you're looking for companies that have 50 or more employees. If you've got a company with 50 or more employees, they're going to be doing at least 5 million revenue, because you can't afford the payroll for 50 employees if you're not doing 5 million revenue, right? So size-wise, you're looking for that, the sweet spot is between 5 and 10 million, right? So must be running ads, must be generating minimum 50 leads per week, must be $2,000 plus for price per average, must have 2 to 10 million in revenue. So these are the prerequisite qualifiers, right? The next qualifier is the decision maker. The reason why we're choosing companies in that sweet spot is the decision maker is the CEO, managing director, founder, co-founder, owner. That's it, right? If they're a professional service firm, it'll be a managing partner, right? If it's a larger, like a more kind of engineering business, it'll be the principal, right? They'll be the principal or the president or even a chairman. But generally, CEO, founder, co-founder, owner. Those 4 monikers, right? So now we have a decision maker, right? Now, based on whatever we're selling, so for example, if we're selling, I'm going to pick on speed to lead because a lot of people want to sell speed to lead, but it doesn't matter what you're selling. If you're selling SEO, it will be the same thing. If you're selling lead generation, same thing, right? So what is the problem? What are the common problems that people have that your thing can fix? So I'm going to use speed to lead, for example. So now to qualify them, they're getting 50 inquiries minimum per week. That's 200 inquiries a month. I'll guarantee you one of the biggest frustrations is they can't get to the leads, right? Even though they're getting 50 inquiries, they don't get back to people. People voicemails, they don't call them back. You can test this in any business. And you can say to a business owner, a frustration is, and I imagine a frustration of salespeople is, they just can't seem to get to these leads quickly enough. Would that be fair? So that's a really big problem, right, that people have. 70% of the leads aren't followed up. In fact, it's higher. It's about 80% of leads aren't followed up, right? So if 80% of your leads aren't followed up, right, that means 40 appointments a week, 40 inquiries a week are not followed up. So out of 200 inquiries a month, you're only making 40 appointments. The no-show rate is between 25% and 50%. So of the 40 appointments you book, half of them don't show up. So now you're left with 20 appointments and an opportunity cost of 480 leads that didn't convert into an opportunity. Not into a sale, in an opportunity. So now if you multiply 480 by, let's say their average sales $5,000, right? What's 480 times $5,000? It's about $2 million in opportunity cost, right? That they lose. Yeah? They only have 20 opportunities. So the 20 opportunities they get, they close 4 of them, 20%, right? So they make $40,000 out of their opportunity, and they lose 80% of the revenue because they're not very good at closing or following up, right? In terms of what they do. So what's the problem in this business? Can't get to leads quick enough, not making sure that leads show up, so no show up system, right? They're not following up leads. After they do an estimate, they might not follow up the lead after doing an estimate, so not even closing sales. All these are the problems that occur when you don't have systems in place to monitor and manage salespeople effectively. And 90% of companies in the world right now are broken, and that's exactly what happens to them, right? That's what happens to 90% of companies in the world, okay? So here's the thing. If this is what's going on, what are some of the consequences that these businesses face, right? Lost opportunity, lost sales revenue, lost opportunity. They have a negative impact on the brand of the business. If you don't follow up your leads, these people are never going to call you again. They came to you once, they didn't get a response, so they moved on to somebody else. And if they need your service again, they are not going to call you again. So you've burnt the lead. What happens is, who are they going to call? The last people that help them. That's who they're going to call first, right? They're not going to go back to you. It's highly unlikely they're going to ever call you again. So because you don't follow up and because you don't do your job, because you haven't got inefficient systems, you lose brand recognition, right? You're a bad customer service company. You identify that you're crap in the market. All those leads that you lose, right, that you don't nurture, right? The other thing is you don't know because you're not following people up, you don't know what the quality of the leads are. You don't know if you're advertising to the right people, if you're attracting the right people, right? Because you're not vetting them, you're not asking questions, you're not qualifying them. So this is an inherent cost to the business. These are the problems, right? On the alternative side, you have speed to lead. So the question is, what is the benefit of your system based on what we already know about how this business fails, right? So the benefits are, well, every lead is followed up within 30 seconds, right? So that means every inquiry, you get 200 inquiries, you get every 30 seconds. When they're followed up or when they're engaged in real time, we ask questions, relevant questions to qualify them, right? And we help them with their questions of why they inquired in the first place. If they inquired for a specific offer, we'll ask them questions about, why they inquired, how can we help them? Is it okay if we book you in for an appointment to have somebody help you? We're driving for the next logical step by having that automated. So the lead is managed correctly and effectively in real time. What will happen is you're going to increase the chance of your booking at appointments. And you're going to have better qualified leads because they've answered a few questions to qualify their intent for purchase. So your salespeople are going to get a better quality lead and you're going to book more appointments. And let's say you might double the appointment ratio. So instead of booking 40 appointments out of 400 inquiries, I might book 80 appointments right now, right? So the benefit might be we might double the number of appointments. Now, if we have a system to automate the appointment booking to say, hey, for the show-up rate, then we might get, instead of a 25 to 50% no-show rate, we might get only a 15% no-show rate, 15 to 30% no-show rate. So we've improved the no-shows, meaning the salespeople have more shots at bat, right? So instead of having only 40 appointments, now they've got about 60 appointments. So they've got 20 more opportunities to do. Now, if nothing changes and their sales conversion stays the same at 20%, right? So now they're making 12 sales, not 4 sales. Now they're making 12 sales. So they're going to more than 100% increase sales, right? By having the system. So the benefit of having a system, more appointments, better show-up rate, and you're going to increase your conversions on sales, right? Meaning that we could double the revenue right now. So right now, without the system, this is what the system's costing you. With the system, your worst case scenario is double the revenue. Which would you prefer? Right? Does that make sense? Does this compute? Like, I'm just trying to help you understand. Do you get how to present this idea based on how I've asked these questions and positioned this strategy? If you've got any questions about it, ask me questions. Because I'd rather you ask me a no and not no. Right? Because there's really 3 things that you want to know. You want to know how businesses that you work with acquire customers, how much money they make per customer, what that customer is worth, and do they keep those customers buying more product? Because your service helps three areas. One, you're going to engage more customers. Two, more customers means more money per customer. Three, if you keep following up and upselling or doing a DBR, you're going to get people buying more often. So you create a huge advantage and opportunity for your prospective customers, right? That's the deal. Yeah. Any questions from what I've just shared so far? Any questions? Because essentially what I've done is I have turned all of you into a high-priced consultant. You're no longer a speak-to-lead AI agency. Right now, you're a lead management consultancy that specializes in using AI. Write that down. You're a lead management consultancy that specializes in leveraging AI and automated sales processes. How cool is that? Nice title to have. What do? I'm a lead management company that specializes using leverage opportunities with AI and sales automation processes. We help 7- and 8-figure companies. The goal is to double their revenue using our AI assistants. An example of this, we have one firm by re-engaging their existing dormant contact list that we generate $250,000 a month in new billable fees every single month with an AI agent. We have another agent that works 24/7, works for a logistics company, books in $45,000 worth of booking sales every day of the month. So makes $450,000 every 10 days, $1.2 million a month. All on autopilot with AI. Would you like to know how that works? It's not hard to get people to have a talk to you when you share those concepts with people, right? So these are the things you want to understand, right? I'm going to make this, so I'll be your brain for you. Is it okay if I'm your brain so you don't have to think? I don't want you to be thinking. I don't want you to stress out. I don't want you to do any work. Just don't, be a lemming, right? I am the brain. My brain says, right, pick a business. Can anybody just pick a business for me? Any niche. Pick a niche. Okay, if somebody picks HVAC, it was always HVAC. HVAC, right? So I can go to Perplexity and I can say, hey, Perplexity, what are the top 10 ways that HVAC companies get customers, acquire customers? And it'll tell me referrals, advertising, social media, SEO, referral partners, directory website. It'll give me all the 10 ways that HVAC companies get leads, right? So I know very quickly, not using my brain, by just asking Perplexity, what are the top 10 ways that this business, a HVAC business, a med spa business, an accounting firm, literally say this is how they get customers, right? Then I can go, hey, Perplexity, what is the average sale worth to a HVAC business that's retail HVAC? What is the average sale? What is the average customer spending? And then it'll say, well, the average customer will spend anywhere between $200 to $500 on a service to replace using a second-hand replacement system. You're looking at about $10,000. A brand new system is going to be between $15,000 and $20,000. Don't ask me how I know that, but those are the numbers. So now I know for every HVAC deal that the average customer would be between $3,000 and up to $20,000 for replacement, right? For a domestic. So I know how much money a HVAC company makes out of HVACs, selling HVACs, right? Then how do HVAC customers or companies retain their customers? How do they cross-sell, upsell? What do they do to make more money out of existing customers? And then it'll tell me exactly how they make more money out of existing customers. And then I'm going to be a real dumbass and I'm going to say to Perplexity, hey, Perplexity, I'm a moron. I don't know what I'm doing. Can you tell me how Speed to Lead would help this HVAC company get better revenue from leads that they buy off the internet? And guess what Perplexity is going to do? It's going to say, well, this is how a HVAC company benefits from getting Speed to Lead. Right? And then I can say, hey, what are the average industry benchmarks when it comes to converting leads into sales? Now, the average industry benchmark to convert a HVAC sale is 2.8%. I know this because I searched for it. So out of every 100 leads, they'll make 2 to 3 deals out of every 100 leads. Leads, not appointments, leads. right? The industry average conversion rate to sale from appointment is between 10 and 20%. That's the industry average, between 10 and 20%, right? Is the industry average. Now that I know that, I can say to Perplexity, being the dumbass that I am, I say, hey, I'm a moronic, Perplexity. Can you give me a hypothetical case study on a business that's generating 200 leads, booking 40 appointments out of the 200 leads, show up rate, missing 50% show up rate, and they convert 20%, with their average sale being, let's say, 15,000 for a brand new thing. And it'll show you the numbers, right? It'll show you what the numbers are, right? Based on the industry benchmark. And then you say, now, if I were to plug in speed to lead for this business, right, it will actually tell me what it would look like if we plugged in speed to lead. And if I told it, if I not double the sales, what if speed to lead only saw a 20% or a 30% increase in appointments? 20 or 30%. And what if speed to lead only improved the show up rate by 20%, right? And then, but the sales conversion stayed at 20%. What would the difference be between what's happening now and the improvement, right? And then amortize that out over 12 months. Now, that improvement, based on those numbers, you will see that they're going to go from closing $100,000 in sales, right, a month, to about $160,000 in sales, right? So they're going to add about $700,000 in new revenue by plugging in speed to lead, by making those small adjustments, right? Remember, I'm a dumbass. Perplexity is telling me this. That's the brain, right? I don't know what I'm talking about, right? I don't want to know what I'm talking about, but I'm asking really basic common sense questions to Perplexity, right? So now, guess what I'm going to do to Perplexity? Hey, Perplexity, can you build me a presentation for ABC HVAC company, specifically showing them these numbers and then the benefits of us plugging in an AI speed to lead system? And then our price point for that would be, let's say, a setup fee for $5,000 and $2,500 or $3,500 a month to manage that. And then put all the benefits of what happens if we plug in a speed to lead system that they would benefit from by paying us $3,500 a month. And guess what Perplexity is going to do? It's going to create the presentation outline for you. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take that and go over to gamma.app, Gamma.app. I'm recording this. If you're going to be here, I'm going to give you the recording. You go to Gamma, and you're going to copy and paste that into Gamma. And Gamma will make a beautiful presentation with HVAC images, right, relevant to the market for ABC HVAC company. And then you'll go to their website, and then you're just going to literally screenshot their logo, and you're going to stick their logo on every slide, right? And then you're going to say to Perplexity, hey, Perplexity, can you write a compelling email inviting this ABC company to let them know that I've put together a very compelling presentation around these sorts of numbers, and are they open to seeing something that will probably add 20 to 30% more revenue as a business owner, right? Are they open to it, right? And then write me a few follow-up messages and give me a script, a call script that I can use to open up the door to generating appointment, right? So I'm going to do that. So right now, I know exactly how they make money. I know how much money they collect on average. I know how they keep customers coming back. I know the benefits of what happens with speed to lead. I have a hypothetical case study based on the industry benchmark, because that's what I asked for, right? And then I've got an improvement, a modest improvement, not a big improvement. And then that improvement will demonstrate or show a huge upside to implementing a system that a business doesn't have. And then I've basically said, give me a presentation around that information, and then put that into 10 slides in Gamma. And so now I can present that to a client. So give me an email to send to that company. Say, listen, I'll put this together. Let me walk you through. It's going to take 15 minutes. You can let me know whether or not, this is a cool idea, because I built it for you, right? Any questions? Any questions? Now, I will send you this recording, because I've literally given you the prompts in this recording, right? But any questions about what I've shared? Would anybody find what I've just suggested difficult to do? Because all of you now can literally pick a business, a style of business, right? I did that two times ago, and sent a screenshot to a contact. Awesome, Jacob. Have you got some feedback? Did somebody come back to you and say hi? Are you still following them up? Yeah, 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 yeah. Because you want to remember 12 touch points to get a person on the phone, right? Hey, I did this for you. I did all this work for you. Are you open to have a look at it? Hey, I just want to make sure you got my message. Did you get my message? Just give me a yes or no if you got it. If you got it, like, give me the best phone number that I can give you a call on. That's another follow-up message, right? Okay. But I'll guarantee you'll get those people on the phone. Google, James. Google, Facebook Ad Manager, online journals and magazines, banner ads online, Google, TikTok, any forum has got ads. That's the best platform to find people advertising. Yeah. Yes, I do know of ad labs. You can use PPC ad labs. You can use PPC predict. You can see PPC. I think it's PPC present is another one that shows you who's running Google ads. But you don't need to spend $200 a month on software to do that. You can go to spyfood.net, follow.net, and you can go and look for type of business and find businesses that are running ads, how much they're spending, what ads they're running, where they're running the ads to. So there's plenty of places you can do that for free. So yeah, but Google is my go-to. It's like really easy to find people on Google. Last time I checked. You can even ask Perplexity. Like I've actually gone into Perplexity and said, hey guys, Perplexity, give me the current top 10 businesses in this category that are currently running Google ads in this county. And then it'll give me the top 10 businesses, it'll give me the URL, it'll give me the business name owner. I showed this to you guys last week, how to do that. Craig says, I asked Grok and I got results. Yes, you can ask Grok and you get results. Yeah, some of the language models can actually find that information for you. ChatGPT 5.1 is fantastic for this sort of stuff as well. So that's the yes. The answer is yes. Any questions about what I've just shared? I just want to do a quick recap before I walk you into a few other things here. Number one, there's two things that I've showed you. I showed you how to get 3 clients to pay you $12,000 and $15,000 a month with a strategy within 30 days. That was one thing I showed you. I showed you another way where you can do a pre-built AI 8-minute website, sell it for $500, upsell to $4,500 a month. I showed you that entire strategy. I literally laid it out, scripts, strategy, the whole thing. The third thing that I've shown you is how to understand a business, understand the value per customer, understand how they keep customers buying more often from that what they do, understand the key benchmarks in their process, understand the benefits, how to find and identify the benefits of whatever it is you're selling in relation to that outcome, and then ask it to create a presentation with a hypothetical based around the benchmark, ask it to create a presentation for you, and then ask it to create a message so you can reach out to somebody and say, hey, I've done this work for you and I've got a plan. Are you at least open to having a look at the plan that I've created for you for your business? Here's a screenshot of your company name branded on the actual game plan. Would you like to see it? Yes or no? Do not send this to them. Do not send them the presentation. Don't send it to them. They must request a conversation with you, right? You've got to get on the phone with them, right? Once you're on the phone, you're going to qualify them and you're going to walk them through the presentation and you're going to sell it, right? So these are the 3 key things that will make you money today. Today will make you money today, right? I would love to know and just to be honest and to be vulnerable, because I know this will happen and it is happening. It may happen to some of you, not all of you, right? But tell me where, based on what I've just shared, where your stuck is, if you've got a stuck. Or where your fear is, if you've got a fear. It's okay. Like, I'm sure some of you are apprehensive about what I've shared, right? Anybody got any apprehensiveness like, how do I fulfill it? How do I make it work? How do I bank money? Why would they believe me? Like, what's going on? I just want to deal with this. because it's really important. Because like right now, you could literally leave this webinar, go and make some money, and never talk to me ever again. And you probably, if you were smart enough to do the thing and learn from that thing, you could probably put yourself into $100,000, $200,000 a month in recurring revenue within the next 6 to 12 months. Right? So please, I'm trying to help you here. I'm trying to do a big, big favor for you. I'm trying to help you overcome any fears, any apprehension around this. So please, if you like, I know the majority of you are just starting out. If you're just starting out, there's going to be issues. There's going to be questions. There's going to be issues, right? Alex, stuck is confidence, fulfillment, and consistent outreach. Okay, cool. Jacob, for me, it was the initial sending of the message or the email, but I've been better at it and not stressing about it. Awesome. Anybody else? There's only 2 people that are stuck. Are you telling me that all of you are crushing it and making money? Right? And confidence, yes. What else? I'm trying to help you here. I'm trying to give you every chance to make a success out of this. Right? I'm stuck with fully understanding how the fulfillment works. To that, I can answer their questions. I feel like I need to learn a little more about how to deliver the agents, etc. It's a bit of a duck, but it'll help me with my confidence. James, you can solve this problem in less than an hour, right? You can solve that problem in less than an hour. All you got to do is there's this amazing website. It's called YouTube, right? And then you can say, show me how a chatbot is set up and works. In fact, if you go to inside Go High Level, that's free. If you go to Go High Level, it'll say, give me how do we set up a voice AI agent in Go High Level? It's a 7-step process, and they literally go step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. And if you've got Go High Level, all you got to do is follow the steps, and you'll set up your own voice agent. Right? I had a person for the very first time had never set up a voice agent. They did it in 5 minutes, and it was fantastic. Right? So the how piece is you're asking the question of how, right? If you really get stuck, go to Perplexity and say, how do I set up a voice agent for this type of business? What is the process? What are the tech? What is the tech that's involved? You can figure out the setup piece very, very quickly. All you need is a foundational functional understanding of the framework, right? Like if I said, how do I run a database reactivation campaign? Okay, first you've got to segment the list. You've got to see where the leads have come from, right? You've got to look at, did they buy before? Have they not buy before? How are they managed? Like you have to know all this information before you even create an offer for a database reactivation campaign, right? So all you need to do is you need to sit there and go, how does speed to lead work in Go High Level? And I guarantee you, it'll give you a million answers on how that works. You'll learn that very quickly. The answer to your question of the fulfillment and how it's done can be very quick. There are people who actually will do fulfillment for you. Extendly, High Level Pro Tools, Level 9, they'll do all the fulfillment. They've got the systems, they've got the onboarding, they've got the questions, they've got all the things they need to do. You just need to plug in with them and then they'll set it up for you, right? But in terms of functionality, you just need to see a basic framework of what a speed to lead looks like, right? Once you understand that, once you've got the idea, then you can sell it to anybody, right? Just starting out, again, also been a while since I've done a lot of processing. Well, Austin, you have to start somewhere, right? Like 5 people a day. Tell me, Austin, just give me a yes or no. Can you identify 5 businesses that would benefit from your idea a day? Is it possible for you to do that? Just 5. Just give me a yes or no, right? Yeah, all right, great. So make it an appointment with yourself every day in your calendar. I'm going to identify 5 businesses. I'm going to follow exactly what just John told me or walked me through in the last 30 minutes every day for 5 people, right? Do that for 5 people a day. At the end of the month, you've done it for 100 people. Out of 100 people, you should be able to close 3 to 5 deals, right? You should be able to close 3 to 5 deals doing that, right? When I call up the company that's doing PPC to sell the optimized website, who do I ask for? The person who runs the company, Patrick, the business owner. Who did I say? Identifier, CEO, founder, owner, co-founder, right? Most of these businesses are small businesses. that you're going after that are running Google ads, they're the people you want to talk to. So yes. Right? So Austin, are you okay with that strategy? Like, does this solve your problem of I'm not prospecting, now I can prospect 5 people a day and follow the process, right? Stuck in fully understand. Okay. Confidence. How many people here have a confidence issue in the system working? Just type 1 in the chat if you have a confidence issue. Okay. So if you have a confidence issue in it working, Go High Level has been operational for 5 years now. 5 years. 6 years. This is year 6. This year, Go High Level will be 6 years old, right? In 6 years, there are 1.2 million users of Go High Level, right? There are more than 400,000 deployments of speed to lead in Go High Level. More than 400,000 of speed to lead, right? So it's already working. It's already working. There are case studies up the wazoo just in Go High Level, let alone in HubSpot, let alone in Salesforce. There are case studies telling you that this is working. There are companies saying, we plug speed to lead and we've tripled our sales, right? So you have evidentiary, factual proof that it is working, right? So does anybody believe that speed to lead sucks? Because I beg to differ with the hundreds of thousands of businesses in the world right now that are using it every single day, right? So there is no confidence issue on whether or not speed to lead will work. Set it up the way speed to lead needs to be set up, right? If the leads are coming in and the system follows through, it works. Connect the dots. It works. Do voice AI agents work to convert appointments? How many people here do not believe right now that AI voice agents are booking appointments? I know they work because my own physical therapist uses an AI agent to book my appointments. I know it works for their business, right? The accounting firm that I talk to, they use it. I know it works in their business, right? The many businesses that I know of that I've spoken to that use AI voice agents right now to book appointments, and it's working for them like gangbusters. I know it works. They're not my clients. They're using AI voice agents to book appointments, right? So the system, the actual process works. The idea is to follow the framework that works. There are plenty of businesses out there that have already set this up. You don't have to know setting it up or not setting up. It's already working, right? So whatever thing that you need to tell yourself, does speed to lead work? Absolutely it works, right? All the companies that are using it, there are major corporations right now that use speed to lead. Major corporations, and they make hundreds of millions of dollars every year out of it, right? It works. It works just fine, right? So if you need a frame of reference, go and look at companies that are successfully saying, we've plugged it in and it works. And you can look at how they've done it. You can even call them and see how it works. So you have a demonstration of how it works, right? You know, the confidence comes, this is how you get confident. Do it. That's how you get confident. Go and mess it up. Go and make mistakes. Go and screw it up, right? That's how you're going to learn really quick, right? The first strategy, go to 3 companies, say, I'll set it up for you. And then get somebody, like you can literally use YouTube to show you how to set it up, right? And then set it up for them. The way you would set it up for yourself, you would set it up for them. And then test it and then run it, right? And you're going to learn. And those first 3 clients will make you an expert. But you're only going to build confidence from the actual doing, not from learning or reading about it or watching videos about it, right? It comes from the action piece. That's how you build your confidence. How many people here, when you first hop in your car, if you had a stick shift, right, stalled your car on a stick shift? How many people learn to drive on a stick shift? And when you hopped in the car, you bunny hopped, right? Very first time you hopped and stopped and you started bunny hopping the car, right? Because your brain wasn't connecting in, put the clutch down, put it into gear, press the accelerator, go, right? You had three things that your brain had to cope with. So what did you do, right? Your coordination between your clutch foot and your acceleration weren't quite right. And so every now and again, you might have missed a gear and you started bunny hopping, right? But pretty quickly, after doing that maybe 30 or 40 times, right, you learned how to not bunny hop anymore, and you could drive stick shift, right, quite easily. And so then you became competent. Well, how do you think you're going to be an expert in AI speed to lead? You're going to bunny hop a little bit, right? You know, but it's really hard not to fix the problems that you create. It's really, sorry, the way to fix them is very easy. It's not hard to fix the problems when you screw this up, right? And sometimes you will. I've screwed it up. I forgot to check a box. I forgot to, and then, then I found out, oh shit, I've got to check that box. Okay, next time I do this, make sure I check the box, then it will work, right? You're going to learn from the doing. You're not going to learn from the consuming, right? Go and set it up. Go to a friend that you know in business. Say, listen, I want to set this up for you for free. You can pay me at the end of the month, right? You can pay me the month, but I want to set up, so I want to learn. I want to learn it with you. But I know that if we can set this up, it'll work. All you need to do is cover the core costs, which are negligible, right? All of you can learn very, very quickly. If we approach cold leads, why do they believe us? Sandosh, people approach cold leads every day, and they believe people that approach them every day. Why do they believe us? Why shouldn't they believe you, right? You're going to provide some value. You're going to be sharing your ideas. You have to nurture. There's touch points. You know, Santosh, this is how business is done right now. So yes, you're going to, you know, if you're expecting one email to do all the heavy lifting for you and close a sale for you, well, you're going to be sadly disappointed. But you're going to get better and better at messaging people the more and more you learn how to message people, right? You know, you don't have to use cold email. You can use direct message. I've talked about 11 different ways you can get leads without using email to get appointments in the last 3-4 sessions, right? So you don't just have to do cold email. You could just use LinkedIn, or you could just DM, or you could just text message, or you could just you can even use direct mail if you want to. There's plenty of ways in which you can do it. You don't have to rely just on cold email. And cold email, you know, there's a little bit of know-how in how to really run a successful cold email campaign, because there's lots of roadblocks along the way, right? You got the SMRP issue, the DMK issue, all these different things you got to deal with to set up cold email effectively, right? And there's services that do cold email very, very well for you, like Instantly and QuickMail and Mailshake. There's Woodpecker. All these systems do cold email for you, right? They even have AIs that set up for you. So yeah. Plus, we're not sending unsolicited proposals. We're starting a conversation. Yes, Marsha, thank you very much for the observation. Yeah. With automating our follow-ups, you automate those in a system, or do you do it manually and avoid any spam opt-in issue? Okay, as long as you comply with the CAN spam issue. So now we're getting into the real, like, technical things. James, you don't have to worry about this until you send out 30,000 emails. When you tell me that you've sent 30,000 emails out there, then we'll worry about spam issues, right? But right now, I'm asking you to send out 5 messages to people. And then to automate the process, all you're going to do is using the same email, right? You can use a vanity email. You don't have to use your own email, right? Use a vanity email. It's not like you're sending out hundreds of emails. You're sending out 5 a day, 10 a day. You're going to build this up, right? If all of you just did the 5 a day thing, all of you will generate 3 to 4 clients within 30 days if you just 5 a day, 5 a day, 5 a day. All of you, right? Like, we're not talking about loads and loads of messaging and sending out emails. We're talking about keeping this really simple and easy. Yeah? You know? I would not be worried about spam issues if I was sending out 5 emails and automating the follow-ups to people. I wouldn't be worried about that, because you're not sending out enough emails in volume for you to get flagged. right? You're not sending out 1,000 emails a day yet. So yeah, and look, use the automation and go high level. It's fine. If you're only sending out five or 10 emails a day, your email will be warm very, very quickly, right? And the other thing is you can personalize your emails a little so people actually, feel like you're talking to a friend. The biggest problem is people shout at people in email, like you're shouting or you're the one talking, rather than inviting a conversation, right? Or making it plausible. Like sometimes say, look, you don't know, I've been right up front with people. You don't know me. I don't know you. But I'm working on this idea and it's kind of relevant to people like yourself. And I talk to people like you all day long. And here's why I believe it's relevant to you. Can you just do me the kindness and reply yes that you got the message? Or can I ask you, is it okay if I ask you just one question, right? If you've got a moment. Now, not everybody's going to respond to those emails, right? But I will get responses if I keep touching base. And as long as I'm friendly and I'm relevant and I'm upfront about what my intentions are and I'm adding value, then I very rarely get somebody knocking me back. Very rarely, But if you're blasting people and you go and send out 1,000 emails a day one, well, of course, you deserve to be kicked out and you deserve to go and get a $50,000 fine for spamming because that's what you're doing. Yeah. Should I use warm-up tools, Jacob? You can. Don't have to, but you can. Instantly's got a great warm-up tool. Most warm-up tools right now are getting into a territory where they're not that effective. So use one, don't use one, just be mindful of doing that. You can warm up emails in GHL, but you've got to warm up your emails gradually. So you've got to start with like 5, then 10. I wouldn't go on an email list, on one email, on a vanity. I probably wouldn't send out more than 50 emails. On a vanity, if I was cold outreaching, I probably wouldn't do more than 50. I'd keep it under that 50. Yeah. But then I could have 10 emails and do 500 emails a day and still keep it under that 50 per email. Yeah. Like in Instantly, I think I've got about 20 emails in Instantly, and we've got those up to about 100 emails a day. So yeah. Could you just provide more niche examples? I'm trying to exercise home improvement. So, okay, Santosh, you've got a brain. Give me a list of all the contractor businesses: plumbers, carpenters, tilers, flooring, glaziers, decking, fencing, driveways, paths, windows, awnings, painting, drywall, renovation, roofing. Like there's 15 niches, Santosh. There's 15 niches. This is a great question to ask ChatGPT too. Yes, Marsha, it is a great question to ask ChatGPT. Right? Absolutely. So yeah. Like think about what you don't have to think. Take this recording and you can go and print money today. Right? You don't have to think. When the doubt creeps in, that's just you pushing back on yourself. When the doubt creeps in, that's just you pushing back on yourself. Like here's the thing. Franchises. Franchises are not cheap, right? The reason why people buy franchises, the success rate of a franchise is about 50%, right? The average franchise business has a 50-50 shot of succeeding, right? So the reason why people will spend like $2 million, I think it's actually $3 million or $4 million on a McDonald's franchise is because it works, right? They've tested it over thousands and thousands of locations. They know they've got the numbers, they've got the training, they've got the systems. Like it's a pretty good guarantee that your McDonald's franchise, if you buy one, I think you've got about a 75 to 80% success rate on a McDonald's franchise. McDonald's franchises do fail, by the way. They have closed down and they have failed, right? McDonald's, on average, closes down about 200 stores a year around the world. So they do fail. But the success rate of McDonald's is about 80% because it's a pretty good system, right? It's the granddaddy of all systems, okay? So if your franchise system has a 50% success rate, the reason why is because marketing, systems, operations, all the money, all the IP, and all the setup has already been paid for. So you're buying those systems, you're buying the business. Now you're buying a franchise for the first time. You've got a 50-50 chance of it succeeding, right? But you're still going to buy it anyway because you're going to take a shot on yourself, right? You're going to take a risk. But it's a big risk. It's a big money risk, right? This business you're in doesn't cost you anything other than internet connection and a mobile phone, right? Or a laptop. That's it. Your costs are negligible. So you can start a business for free, pretty much, right? Get a customer without a website, get a customer with a Gmail account, not with a business email account. You don't have to start a business name. You don't even need business cards. You can go and get a client. I showed all of you how to go and get a customer just doing that without. I didn't say go and build a landing page. I didn't say go and print business cards. I didn't say go and get a business name or a business email address. I didn't say any of that. I said just go and do this thing and you'll make money, right? Without any of that. So you have no risk in the game. You're not spending tens of thousands of dollars setting up your business, right? And yet, we're apprehensive about going into the market where we have no physical financial risk, right? Do you understand how ridiculous that is? That's not to say that you shouldn't be scared or you're not scared. I get that you're scared. You're doing something new. You're doing something new. So you're going to be apprehensive. But the way to become unapprehensive, and you're going to figure this out pretty quickly, is do the thing that you're afraid of doing. If you do the thing that you're afraid of doing, you're going to win this game because you're going to learn really, really fast. But don't do anything that I've told you. Don't do anything. Go and hang out with Go High Level people. Go and sit in the Facebook group for the next 6 months, learning about how to set up email, how to set up Go High Level, how to set up wizards, learning about the new functions that go. Spend the next 6 months doing that, not making any money and being in exactly the same position you are right now. Because that's what 90% of people do. How many people have already played that existence? You've been messing around with Go High Level, you really haven't made a crack at it. How many people have been doing that? You know, please be honest. I've done it. I've done this not with Go High Level, with other things. Yep, done that. I'm over it. Yep. I'll watch another YouTube video. I'll watch this thing. Oh, this is a new feature. I'm going to watch this. How many people, like I have spoken at the Go High Level conference, right? I've been to that conference about 5 times. I missed this year due to a personal matter. I've been there 5 times. Go High Level, every time I go to the conference, I probably pull about $100,000 to $200,000 worth of business out of that conference, right? But I know a lot of people that go to Go High Level and they've been there more than once and it hasn't done squat for them. Because they're hung around with a whole bunch of other people not making money, right? They get a really good rah-rah, this is great software, hanging out with other